Carol and I worked on it, it seemed like every door we opened led to 10 more. And it was a question of how many different hallways we wanted to go down. And it's a very exciting opportunity for this state, we believe, a very exciting opportunity for the people that are in this room. And we're going to talk a little bit today about what we found, what some of the recommendations, and basically what we did is talk to a lot of you about this. So are you clicking for me?
I am.
You're playing Vanna White. That's very good. Thank you. So this is the report. This is the cover of the report, which you all have today on your flash drives, I believe, and I think there's going to be printed copies available as well. Clicking. Are you clicking? Okay. Anybody recognize this guy? This is what he said yesterday. Yesterday?
No, Monday.
When he was here. If you help the farm economy in rural communities, you help the economy of entire states. If you help entire states, that's good for the country as a whole. That's what this is all about. This is about, this is about transforming agricultural commodities into economic opportunity. And it's part of what my background is, and I really feel strongly that that's where the possibility lies here, and that's what we're all here to do. What did we want to learn? We wanted to learn in this report how aware are Minnesota manufacturers about bioplastics, and what are their concerns about those materials? What are the obstacles to adoption and use? And what are the most promising opportunities, and then how do we capitalize on those opportunities to drive economic development for the state? We talked to a huge number of people, manufacturers of resins, raw materials, plastics manufacturers, researchers, technical experts, people in education, and end users of plastics to kind of get a pretty good idea of the landscape, not only within Minnesota, but nationally and globally as well. I'm going to turn it over to Carol here. We did a research project with manufacturers in Minnesota, and Carol's going to talk a little bit about what was found in that. Oh, you don't need that.
Yep. Okay, hang on, because we're going to go through lots of information really quick here. I think it's important to give you a view of the entire landscape, so that when you have your discussions this afternoon, you'll have that information. Just the whole subject of sustainability first, how important is that? We hear sometimes, consumers won't pay for green. It's not that critical. Well, in reality, it is a growing force. This was in the Star Tribune this last January. It appears skepticism over sustainability reigns. Problem is business leaders didn't get that memo. What they're talking about is that sustainability has really moved from being just an idea into mainstream commerce. 93% of CEOs see those kinds of initiatives as important. There's been a lot of study on that. As an example, this was a study that was conducted. 81% of CEOs are saying that sustainability issues are now really key to all of their decision making. So it is fitting in at every level of major organizations. That's a huge jump since 2007. And why is that? Why are they thinking that? And largely it's being driven by consumers. 58% are saying consumers are the ones that are really pushing us in this direction. Talk to a lot of companies about, are you buying? When it comes to the kind of product mix you're looking at. Target, for instance, will continue to evaluate and expand our eco-friendly products. Major initiatives, whether it is in their gift cards or it is in packaging in the bakery, that sort of thing. They are looking for suppliers. So that's part of that demand side. They are trying to stock it. And then on the manufacturing side, John Deere, Toyota, you probably all seen reports about that, how they are including more of bio-based material in the components of their projects, their products, depending on which aspect. Sustainability is a new buzzword for everything that pertains to design for the environment. But there have been some missteps too. You probably read about sun chips, and that was about a year ago. They introduced the package that was supposed to be biodegradable or compostable. The problem is it made too much noise. And consumers wouldn't accept that. So there's interest, but nobody really wants to know, and you don't want people to know when you're eating something like that. And so they had to pull it off the market. Now they're coming back with something. They're still committed to that direction, but they're having to modify it. So there is that. This happened to be a there are many Facebook pages that were set up. Nothing is louder than a sun chip. Really hurt their brand a bit. Some of the manufacturing survey information that David was referring to, we asked plastics manufacturers in this state, how important is it for you to produce environmentally sustainable products? 81% said yes, this is really important to us. May not be doing it yet, but they feel that it is important. Then what about packaging? You know, there are many different ways to use bio-based material, but packaging is certainly one area, a huge market out there for just packaging at large, 429 billion globally. And as that population grows, the demand is even greater. But what about sustainable packaging? Is that growing with it? And it's actually growing a little bit faster. By 2014, 32% of the total packaging market is going to be sustainable. So that is again, definitely showing the interest there. I thought this was really interesting. 21% of North American consumers say food companies should concentrate on making packaging more environmentally friendly, more important than providing fresh ingredients in what they're eating. You know, very concerned about that. And again, you know, it's continuing to increase. Asked Minnesota manufacturers about that consumer interest. You know, they're saying, yep, 55% of them, that is going to impact our operation. And 47% saying, yep, and we're going to do something about it too. So, you know, the interest is there. Again, may not be doing it yet, but the interest is there. Plastic packaging, 35% of overall material used. Again, you know, the sustainable piece is going to be the fastest growing sector. You want to talk about this, Ben?
Yeah. Can everybody hear me if I don't use the mic? You okay with that? Because it's a little unwieldy, I think. Much in the way that the biofuels industry has helped drive and spur economic development in rural communities, it's pretty clear that bio-based products can do the same kind of thing. I mean, again, we're looking for uses for commodities. We're looking at uses for products that farmers and ranchers grow. And this is not just about employment in the economy, but it's about the employment and economy in some areas that sorely need it. And that's one of the greatest opportunities that we see here with this, the growth of this industry, is that rural economic development that then contributes to the entire state's economic development. So this is being driven by a number of factors. Jim already talked a little bit about the whole need to replace or reduce the amount of dependence we have on foreign oil and imported oil. I mean, energy costs are having a dramatic effect on our national economy. There's environmental concerns related to pollution and landfills, the whole global warming thing. And there are some very real human health aspects here related to some of the toxins that are associated with petroleum-based plastics. I mean, we're talking about everything from formaldehyde, we were talking about earlier today, to the endocrine disruptors that people are finding in bottles that are changing our bodies. And that's very scary stuff. And the more of that starts to surface, I think the greater the opportunity, greater awareness and acceptance. So bioplastics, as you start to define this, I mean, there are people in this room who are much more adept at this than we, but it's basically, there's not a single class, there's a lot of different things, but a family of products that can vary quite widely, basically based on renewable resources, etc. The bioplastics value proposition is really about a cradle-to-grave type of approach. We've got to understand from a sustainability aspect what the true sustainability is from the raw feedstock to the product, and then its disposal or recyclability or whatever it is. That's cradle-to-grave. Demand is going to increase dramatically. I mean, I think that intuitively, I think we know that, but the research is showing that. Here's some of the areas that they're going to grow. Packaging is a big deal. Loose fill and foam, molded products, that sort of a thing are all possibilities. Anywhere you can think that plastics are used, I mean, this is obviously going to be an opportunity. Carol, you want to take that?
Yeah, and again, Minnesota manufacturers, 66% say this will be more prevalent in the industry in the next 3 to 5 years. So it's near term. They're saying, yes, I do think it's going to be something that will impact us. And this was interesting. 41% of the manufacturers say that using bio-based material could make their manufacturing process safer for employees. So another different dimension on it. Some of the recent coverage that's been in local media, talking about the boom in bio business. And as David said, you know, that petroleum consumption reduction, a major factor. And the projection is the bioplastics has the potential to reduce it 15 to 20% by 2025. So a significant thing from a cost and an environmental standpoint. Improved technical properties innovations will open new markets and applications. So, you know, it's not just in one industry, it is across the board, like David said, in molded products as well. You know, manufacturers, how informed are you? Okay, so the interest is there, but we're saying, you know, how much do you think you really know about it? Well, 61% say, I'm at least somewhat informed, but you've got, you know, a good group, 39% saying, no, I don't know much about it. They believe in it, but they don't know much about it yet. Okay, so what are some of the market drivers?
It's not just about replacing petroleum.